Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's good to have you watching. Decreasing pensions and rising health care costs are causing more and more elderly Americans to seek bankruptcy relief. This morning, it is so great to welcome our good friend, Chattanooga bankruptcy attorney, Aaron Epstein. Aaron, great to have you here,
Jed,
buddy. Welcome
always
to the
a pleasure.
show. You know what? This is scary, especially with 2008. A lot of people had their pensions, a lot of people had their savings, and now, after the downfall of the economy, a lot of these people who had hoped to have the great American dream of retirement are now back at work.
Yeah, it is a scary thought for all of us, you know, even as I approach what would be retirement age. I think the thing I've noticed, and when you told me you want to talk about this, the shift in the last 5 to 6 years of my clientele has gone from maybe 5%, maybe 10% fixed income to 30 to 35. Almost 1 out of 3 of my clients now is on fixed income. And for the obvious reasons, the money that they get to live on is not enough to live on. It's better than nothing, but with these, like you say, the rising health care costs are just incredibly scary.
All right, let me go ahead and put this up on the screen. These are some of the things we talked about. So bankruptcy and seniors, what an important topic. What about medical bills? And then the second thing, protecting home equity. So what happens with medical bills? Is that the #1 reason this 30% of the increase of these people on fixed incomes are filing bankruptcy in their golden years?
It's hard to say that that's #1, but it's certainly one of the top reasons. When you talk about medical bills, they are unsecured. They are dischargeable in a bankruptcy. The issue becomes if you have worked all your life, sweated to get equity in your home, you are only protected if you're 62 years or older in Tennessee for the first $25,000 of equity. So if you got a $100,000 house you almost paid off, Chapter 7 would be like lighting a match to your home.
Wow, so they will take that money. Is that correct?
They will sell the house
and
take it. So there are ways to protect the house. Chapter 13 allows you to pay it back over a period of 3 to 5 years. If you're in Georgia, the number would be higher, like $43,000 for a couple.
Let me ask you, God forbid if you're Chapter 13 and you're paying off and you die, does that pass over to your children to take care of that, or once the person...
Well, no, when you die, those debts are gone. But if there is an estate, in other words, equity in a house, then you could have an issue with claims against the estate. If the children wanted to keep the house, that could be a problem.
All right, what about retirement accounts? How was that affected?
All protected. Those have always been 100% protected. IRAs, 401ks. Now be careful. It's an exempt asset. If you pull that money out, it becomes a non-exempt asset, which is not protected. So always talk to a bankruptcy lawyer if you're having issues and you're thinking you'll just take money out of a 401k. Borrowing is a different issue, but just taking a distribution.
Okay, so let's role play here, Aaron. So let's just say I'm 70 years old. Because of medical costs, I'm going to have to file bankruptcy. What would you tell the person sitting across from you at the desk?
Well, one of the things that you mentioned earlier or brought up was Social Security benefits. Those are all protected by the government. Even if you put them in a bank account, they can't be touched. So if you're on a fixed income, for a lot of people, if you don't have an asset like a house that's paid for or a valuable vehicle or a lot of assets, land, etc., then you might be better off to do nothing. And a lot of my clients, they'll come and talk to me. I'll say, listen, you have nothing to worry about. You're going to have a harassment factor. They're going to bother you for the bills, but that check that you get from the government is protected by the government.
And they cannot take any of the IRAs or the 401ks. That is protected as well.
That's correct.
What about reverse mortgage? Do you recommend a lot of your clients to look into this aspect of saving their home?
You know, that is really a tough one. I am personally averse to reverse mortgages. I think they tend to be predatory lending type things, but I have had clients in the office and they have actually had reverse mortgages, and because of that they were able to file a bankruptcy because it diminished the equity in their homes. So it can be a good vehicle. It's hard to say because you're going to do that way before you come to see me.
All right, so let me ask you this question. If you have exorbitant medical bills, is it best to have you contact the hospital to work out a payment plan? Would they respect an opinion from you, or is the individual consumer able to do that?
I think the individual consumer probably would be the right person. I am told if you communicate directly with the hospital and they realize you're on a fixed income, they would be a lot happier to get 10% of a loaf than none. And so I understand there's a lot of relationships that are developed with the larger hospitals where they agree to take a much smaller amount. They know there's a certain limited amount somebody can pay.
I know this is a very tough topic for a lot of people, seniors in bankruptcy, but just listening to you, it doesn't sound that dire for seniors. I mean, there are several things that a person like you can help them through in these tough times.
There are solutions to almost every situation. And so get in touch with a bankruptcy lawyer or somebody that you trust to handle your financial affairs, and ask them the hard questions, or ask me the hard questions.
Yeah, let me just ask you, it's 2015. How are bankruptcies now in the state of Tennessee? Are we seeing a downward when it comes to filings?
They seem to have stabilized. I think that's the word I would use. They're probably back, I think, on what appears to be an upward trajectory. So I think we've turned the corner as far as volume or the number of cases being filed. That seems to be more and more every day.
All right, great information always, Aaron. You make it so easy to understand, and you just become not only a friend to these people, but truly a psychologist as well to help them through some tough times. There it is, 713 Cherry Street, right downtown, 752-3000. But you got to check out this website. It's moneyproblems.com. He answers everything on that website, moneyproblems.com. Been doing this for years. Aaron, all the best to you.
Thank you.
We're back with more 3 Plus U after this.